outstanding audit.
All right.
And I can say that because it's pretty strong.
Appreciate it, Mayor Lowe. Yeah, again, appreciate the opportunity to come and go over the audit completed. This is the September 30, 2023 audit. And again, this is management puts the financial statements together. Our job is to give an opinion on these financial statements. Obviously, we work with finance to make sure everything is in here, and disclosures and everything. So there on the right after the table of contents is our independent auditor's report. And again, it's a clean audit opinion on the financial statements saying that they're presented fairly in accordance with general accepted accounting principles. So again, clean audit on the financials. And again, I'm going to be brief in my remarks. If anyone has any questions, hopefully LaBriga or I can help answer them. If you'll flip over to page 11. And that's the statement of net position. And so this is the kind of government as a whole. It has everything in there, including your capital assets and your debt. So in the governmental activities column, total assets of $171.8 million. Go down below the liability, down to the liability section, total liabilities of $105.8 million. So total net position, so total equity is $74.6 million, and of that, $27.7 million is unrestricted. So again, all that looks good. That's for the governmental type. The business type, which is the public utilities, again, $94.2 million in total assets. Total liabilities of $57.5 million. So your net position is $39.5 million. And again, about $5.9 million of unrestricted net position. So again, both of those strong looking balance sheets for the city as a whole. If you flip over to page 13, that's the balance sheets for each governmental fund. So again, obviously the main one being the general fund. So the fund level statements do not have your capital assets in them and do not have your debt in them or the net pension liability or OPEB liability. So again, this is more on a modified accrual basis, so it doesn't have those long-term liabilities in this statement. So total assets is $61.7 million, liabilities a little over $2 million. Your fund balance is $59.3 million, and unassigned is $49.1 million for the general fund. So again, good looking general fund balance sheet. And again, this is as of September 30th, 2023. Flip over to page 14. That's the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance. So again, this is the income statement without any depreciation or anything like that. So again, total revenues, $55.9 million. Of that, sales and use tax is $38.5 million, and that's up about $3.5 million from the previous year. Yeah, exactly. So good increase on the sales and use taxes. Total expenses $40.7 million. So you get down to a net change in fund balance of $14.4 million for the year. So again, good looking statement, was able to add to the fund balance for the year. And then you have your other smaller governmental funds in those other columns. If you flip over to page 16, this is the 16 and 17. This is the budget to actual of the general fund. So far left column is the original budget that you all adopted. Obviously there's changes, adjustments to that throughout the year. So that's the final budgeted column. And then the actual is what we just went over. So what actually happened during the year. And again, all positive throughout. Revenues, $55.9 million compared to a budgeted of $48.1. So about 7.8 million more than was budgeted. And then the expenses by department were all less than what we're budgeting. General government, 3.2 million less than what was budgeted. Public safety, 3.3. Public works, 442,000. Culture and recreation, 1.3. And then debt service was about 378,000 less. So again, looks good compared to last year. Looks good compared to budget for the general fund. On page 18 and 19, that's the statement of net position for the preparatory fund. And so this is again the public utilities fund on the fund level basis. And again, when it's a business type activity, a proprietary fund, it does have fixed assets and debt in it. So it's accounted for a little differently.
Utility department is.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So again, total assets, 94.5 million. Of that, 76.9 million of it is basically fixed assets, capital assets. The current assets total 12.6 million. Of that, cash is 8.7 million. Liabilities, total current liabilities, 3.9 million. And then you have long-term liabilities of 53.8, which includes the bonds payable, the pension liability, and the OPEB liability. So your net position, total net position, 39.5 million. And of that, about 5.9 million is unrestricted. So again, good looking balance sheet for the utilities fund. Then you get over to the income statement for it. Total operating revenues, 15.6 million. Operating expenses, 12.8. So you had operating income of about 2.8 million. Total non-operating income loss is showing income of 1.7 million. Due to you got a grant, it's in that intergovernmental row of about 1.9 million that hit in September 30, 2023. I think there's some more, y'all awarded some more grant money that'll be in either 24 or 25. So your change in net position, which is your net income, was 5.159 million. So again, good looking statement. Even without the grant, I mean that grant's, you can't count on that every year, but still without that, it's 3.2 million, about 3.2 million of income, which is about what it was last year. And so, talked about it last year, there was a lot of years of loss after loss after loss. So 2 years in a row,
change
good income.
with the cost of service analysis, we're going to do it.
Right.
With that. That would change some because, you got to fund the infrastructure and the water, so it's
right.
Coming from Jackson Thornhill, remember? So we're going to have that cost of service analysis. So.
And so you kind of see on page 20, the next page is the cash flow statement. So you had cash provided by operations of about 4.1 million. You had some other cash flows from non-capital financing activities of 2.4 million. And then you spent 12.9 million, and 10 million was on capital assets. So, like we're saying, you got to generate this revenue to be able to, put money into the wastewater treatment plant, the water plant. And so that's what you see. Again, 10 million of capital asset additions during this year. Again, you got some more grant money coming to help offset some of that, but. So you see that your cash actually went down by 6 million. Beginning of the year it was 19.7, end of the year 13.6. But if you look down below, you see the restricted assets cash 4.9. Last year that was 14 million. So you really spent your restricted money, which that's what it was restricted for capital additions. So your actual unrestricted cash, that 8.7 million is up from where it was the year before. So again, even though the cash went down 6 million, that was the plan. I mean, you got it. You issued bonds, you did grants to be able to spend it for capital additions. All right, after that, there's a lot of notes, and I won't go into all those. Again, a lot of good detail about your debt, your pension plan, your other post-employment benefits is all in there. I won't bore you with all of that today, but if you flip towards the end, back to page 76 is the schedule of expenditure of federal awards. And if you'll flip back a few pages, is our report. The first report, we've got two reports there back to back, and they're not numbered, that's why I'm pointing to that. So go to 76 and back up about 4 pages. Is our report on internal control over financial reporting. So again, this is where we're doing tests over your internal controls. And so any weaknesses or deficiencies we're required to report. And we say that at the top of the page of that first one. We do have some deficiencies. It's the same deficiencies that we've had the past few years. And I'll talk about those in a minute. And then the report on compliance and other matters, we didn't find any non-compliance or other matters that required to bring to y'all's attention. And then the next report is the report on each major program. So when you get federal money over $750,000, when you expend over $750,000 a year, a single audit's required. So obviously we talked about that grant. So we performed a single audit on the federal money. Again, a clean opinion on that. So, and then page 76, the schedule of expenditures for federal awards is the federal money that you expended during fiscal year 23, which totaled about $2.8 million. Most of it being that $1.9 million that came through the public utilities and was spent on that capital project. Page 77 just gives a summary of all the results on our main opinion and those other reports I just went over. The material weaknesses, the financial reporting process. Again, y'all are relying on us to help y'all get the books adjusted and help prepare these financial statements. Limited segregation of duties. And then the bank reconciliations and other accounting reconciliations just being delayed, which is part of the reason we're just not looking at the September 2023 audit. Again, this year, I know there was a lot of software issues with the change in software or updating the software was part of the reasoning behind it. But again, these are the same 3 that we had last year as well. Yeah, so. I guess I'll go over this report real quick. Really nothing unusual in that. Y'all each should have one. So again, if we were having any disagreements with management, if they were wanting to do things that we didn't agree should be done from a accounting or financial reporting standpoint, this is where we would let you know in this letter. Again, nothing unusual. It talks about that there's some estimates in your financial statements, estimated unbilled receivables, useful life of capital assets, and the OPEB and pension liabilities are estimates. So again, nothing unusual. That's in all sets of financials. So that's all I had. I'd be glad to answer or try to answer any questions anybody may have.
Any questions? Any questions, council?
I don't really have a question, but so it's obvious that the city has been doing more than necessary according to the audit report to being good stewards of its dollars and how they are operating. And so the report looks good. So does this affect our credit rating at any given time that is better than the previous year? Is that something we could ask?
Yeah.
How would that affect our credit rating?
It won't hurt it.
Yeah, it won't hurt it.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously
it's up to the rating agencies on if they move the rating one way or the other. But again, positive financial results certainly affect the rating. And so I think being positive, both in the general fund and the public utilities fund, certainly won't hurt the rating.
Well, let me ask the question. I heard what you just stated. I heard the question yet. Is that, but let me ask you this. Will it improve our credit rating?
I can't answer what S&P is gonna
The
do.
Standard and Poor's.
Yeah,
But I will say this, if you don't mind, Brian, I do know one of the metrics that they do use in, assigning, the ratings is the, average household income or the, median household income. And I would think with all the retail that we've added and salaries has gone up, that should help, because the last time we did, Mr. Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong with the reading, we were at like 41.6. So I would think now that that would be higher. But that is a key component of the metrics that they look at, is that median household income, which some call effective buying power or whatever. So I would say that would help. It's still no guarantee counseling that, you know, it will change, but I think we will be looking at it sometime in the future, near future, to get an increase. But this certainly don't hurt. Actually, it's gonna help,
Yeah, absolutely.
even with the strong reserve and even with the, number of days of operating funds that they look at, that they don't look at, it will certainly help. We have a strong case, a very strong case, am I right, Mr. Hunt?
Yeah, very good.
Very strong case, it's gonna be hard for them,
Well, it's something to plan,
yeah.
you know, we plan because we have an older city. We're balanced and making sure. You gotta remember, if you go back to 2008, we was cashing in CDs like payroll. So we are a long ways away. The problem that we have is a great problem. Things that we gotta do with software, you know, IT, we want that, and working with, finance to get that straight. But as far as the plan to make sure that we grow financially at the same time, taking care of responsibilities for the city has worked. And that's everything right there. You can see
Yeah,
that.
numbers don't
There's
lie.
some things that the numbers truly
They don't lie.
are true, and I'm happy about that, but at the same time, when we talked about how much we have done as far as money that we have put aside and saved, money that we brought in with grants to take care of the business of the city, that right there, when people look at that, and the amount of money being spent and utilized to take care of the problems and upgrade what we have to do, it's been real good and unique for a city of this size, what we have to fight through. So we've been able to take care of good responsibility, and like I say, we got the same problem as everyone else, and people need to understand that. The workforce has diminished. A lot of the delays is because we are short-staffed a lot of the time. This is the thing, and this is the thing going on every year, no matter where you're here, Columbus, or anywhere else. People start talking about audits. They never want to talk much about them when the results come in after them, because the things that they look for, we have to be straight out. We don't have deficiencies because we're not perfect people. But far as the handling of the revenue that comes into the city, they have done real well with that. We have done very well with that. Keeping a consistent budget that grows every year shows that the city is growing. I want people to understand something too about this. This city, when I took over the city manager, it was a little over the value, property value of $200 million. Did you see it, Brian? We had
$92 million.
$92 million. Double the value, just about double the value of this city in a matter of years. And when you have a plan like that, sometimes it takes decades to try to get to that point. But
With
that,
with that,
so,
we're 14 million up year over year.
but yeah, not only.
1 year, 14 million.
Two things that happens too with this as you go throughout the city, and just like, Ms. Rhodes was talking about, we also have, grant the Jets kit, the books that's coming in after this, that would be shown in the 2024. It won't come in out because it came in late, or will it be in that grant came in late, 2020, that's gonna be in 2025 because it came in this one. We've awarded $5.7 million on another grant for the children. Josh Wagons, the people, all of them out there that work with that did a great job. And we have another 5.7 to send in the bank along with the other money to do all the things we have to do for our utility department. One thing about the one for the grants and the growth of the city, it's a lot of money right now. If you ride down the bypass and ride through this city, Everything that's going up and that's opening up is new money that can't be counted right now. That's new money that's gonna be coming in, because what we don't do is make the mistake of trying to look good and estimating what's gonna come. I never do that.
Can't do that.
I never do that. And a lot of people, and that's why you can see the growth in what we came over, what we look, because we're very conservative. And that's the way we believe in doing, being conservative. But with a lot of people we have, the job is well done from the finance department, and thank Roberts and the ground for what they've done with this. Me myself, I'm very pleased, because people are always looking for something that's not there. And I wish people understood it. And I'm gonna say this, I don't know if y'all seen Mayor Thompson on TV the other day, talking about, and she was real nice, and she tried, but a lot of people speak and talk out of ignorance. And like she said, you're not calling anybody dumb or stupid, there's totally different meanings to the word. Sometimes we talk about things that we know nothing of, instead of trying to learn about it to see why it's that way. You know, you get in discussions and you damage other people and their names and their reputation. And the reason why people have such a fight about things like that, your integrity is going to live a lot longer than you are going to live as a physical being on this earth. It's going to be there. So we step on people's toes, whether it's Columbus, whether it's over here, anything else, that creates a major problem. But like I say, the same dance that you want to do on top of people's head and the grade that they are not in yet, I want to see the same praise when you find out and see the things that comes out. And the other thing is this, as we're doing this today, and I'll speak on this tomorrow, as we're looking at this, 2024 is in the process, that's got to go into, you have several months into the next year to get that done. 2024 don't come out in January. It would be nice.
Fiscal year.
It would be very nice if you could do something that fast and get it done. But even when you train people over and over and over, and you're looking for people, accountants and stuff, we had this talk last year, I think Brian was talking about, throughout the nation, what was the report, it was over 200,000 accountants short throughout the United States. It was a lot of people throughout, bringing people in and having people to work, and all the people that work with the same type of aggressiveness as we try to do. That's a hard hire. That is a hard hire. But I wish people would do more of trying to find out the way things work instead of criticizing
Before they
things.
start talking.
Yeah, just don't make other people look bad to make yourself look good. That's not right. You know, so, but I can say, we always, and we over 20, this one is okay, but
Wait,
2024 will be better.
we're gonna keep praying on our knees.
2024 will be better. And the only problem that one of the biggest problems that we have is that we are spending to get things done of the money that we put aside to repair and replace. We got we got over 100-year system in utility. I hope y'all seen what money's been put aside and saved in utilities to turn that around.
And that's ongoing.
And the sad thing about the utilities fund is it's not designed to make a large profit out of it. A lot of people don't understand that. You can't, the watchdog, am I correct in that? The watchdogs are on top of you to make sure that you don't overcharge anything else. But at the same time, people cannot understand the cost of repairs we have to do in there. General fund, there's a whole lot of things there separate. You look over here, we got stormwater over here. We have subdivisions with rotting metal, crossways, and walks in them and everything else, concrete side. We have the works. We've got to spend a lot of money. But at the same time, we got to make sure we conservatively handle things as we bring it in to do that. I guess I can talk all day about this because I love it. I really do. And this is, and like I say, the way you give criticism is saying we got to get praise. You got to get praise to handling this to the finance department and what they do.
It's a very good
But
job.
they get beat down. So we
Good
want to
job,
direct to that. And part of Brian, I know Mr. Rutherford, been knowing for a long time. But his job is not to come here to be buddies and friends and nice to us.
Well,
His job is to tell, the separation of me and him is when it comes to this audit. If we're doing anything wrong, I hope he was listening up to the part when he spoke about, were there any problems with management? Well, no problems, because management shouldn't interfere, period, trying to steer something in a different direction. We have absolutely nothing to do with it, but if something was to go wrong and we wasn't cooperating. So we make sure we take care of that type of business so that they can do their business to report to you all. Those are the steps that's handled here. And that's throughout our city charter and everything else. And I wish we could understand that charter a whole lot better, because that's what we live by. And when you get outside of that, that's when you're breaking the law.
Well, you don't lead, you can't be in a leadership position if you don't want to be held accountable. If you won't grow. And our job is to continue to grow the city, and the report is very good, Ryan. Thank you, the brief. The numbers don't lie.